In this video, I'm going to show you how to make the most of your die cuts for card making. Some dies are simple and only have one cut to create an image. You are not limited to one color. In fact, the possibilities are endless. All you need is a little more creativity and some imagination. This method is also a great way to use up some of your scraps. I want to show you how you can make the most of your dies. When I get a new tool, I like to play with it and see what the possibilities are. This set comes with, let me just put it here, comes with this and that and this and that. This here will give you a big strawberry. You can either use it as a whole thing, or you can use it just as an outline. And then this here gives you just a regular strawberry. But you know, that's sort of plain, so I like to dress it up. Stamp. This little die cut cuts out a green leaf, so you can have a green leaf. But I'm going to show you how I use these dies. With this strawberry, I actually cut it out in white, and then I colored it with markers. I colored the leaves green, I colored it red. Now the problem with coloring red and green is that when you mix red and green, you get sort of a brownish color, so that doesn't look that great. And I used like the cutout here as a backing, but obviously you can see that it's too big, and so when you glue it on, you have to cut out this extra edge. But I think it would be better with a yellow backing, so I'm going to retry this again. I'm not going to exactly call this a fail, but it could be a lot better. You know, you have to experiment, and sometimes your experiments don't work that great. I'm just looking at it, I think you could have a little bit more of this yellow on the edge of the green, so it kind of fades. But usually the bottom end of a strawberry is not yellow, usually it's white. So I'm going to redo this using this inside, which obviously is the cutout from here. I'm going to do the seeds yellow this time, but first I need to color this white. So now I don't like the hard line between the red and the white, so I'm going to grab a pink so I can just kind of fade the red just a little bit, trying to blend it a little bit. That way I have just a slight gradation of color. So the red kind of fades to white, and that looks a lot more natural. Now up under the leaf, it should actually have a little bit of a shadow. So I could use the green up under the leaf on the red. That'll make it a little darker, like almost a brown, and that'll be fine. That'll add just a little bit of shadow up underneath. I'm sort of a realist. Okay, now I need some details on my leaves. I want to make this leaf out front. Just add a little dimension. And I think my stem could actually have a little bit of darkness on it. Let me use the thin side and just add a little detail on the leaf, just so it has some character to it. Alright, I'm much more happy with that than this. This was a fail, but I might still use it. Okay, now I want the seeds to be yellow, so I'm going to glue this on here. And really, you can position it, you could center it, or you could push it down here. It doesn't really matter, because you're just going to cut off the extra part. So okay, I have blue, so I'm just going to position it on here. Then I'll get out my scissors and I will trim off the extra parts. edges may show that yellow, so I like to take some red. I don't want the yellow, so I'm going to use green to go around the edges of the leaf so we don't see that yellow edge. Well, actually the yellow's not up there, it's just right here. Okay. There. Now I'm happy with that. Actually, no, I'm not. I feel like my leaves need a little bit more definition right here. I could use a little red on the green. That just makes it a little darker. As long as I don't use too much. Okay, that's a pretty decent looking strawberry. So that you don't have to just have the boring red. Now with this, you could simply glue this on here, and you could use it just like that, and that's okay. I'm just sort of a realist, so I like to have a little more definition to my strawberries. This one I cut out with red paper, and I added a little bit of marker just to give a little bit of shadow on it. And then this is the one that, my first one that I experimented with, and well, I don't really like the white seeds. I could color the seeds. Sometimes you try things and it's like, yeah, I don't like that. There's usually a way you can work around it and make it work anyways. Now these yellow ones got lost down in there. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of green and I'll sort of go around the edge to help them stand out a little bit. It helps those seeds stand out a little bit. The other ones, they stand out pretty good. So that's fine. You could, if you wanted to, even put a tiny bit of green on the seeds, like maybe just as a shadow. Like just on, I'm just doing it on the left side. Just to add a little bit more dimension. Okay. So this is what can be done with the small strawberry, which is this die cut and that top. Now I'll show you what you can do with the big one. Here's a card I started, and I wasn't too fond of these stamps, so I did not buy those, but I kind of like the rest of the card. I actually put this on crooked, so I put this to hide my crookedness. There's always ways to hide your mistakes. Now in this case, if I don't like those strawberries, I could replace it with these ones that I've made, but I don't think I need to do that if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. Another option would be to use these type, just like that, maybe a green, and see, that would be okay. That would be fine. Or you could do, no, that's probably too busy because you have a lot of strawberries in there. See, this cutout would actually be pretty decent as a combination. That could work. Just arranging it. That could work as a nice little decoration. Or if you wanted to put a sentiment here, you could still put a sentiment here if you wanted to. Another option is to do something inside the card. Whoops. It's not glued in yet because I haven't figured out what I want to do. Here might be a good place to add one of our strawberries. It's kind of big. You could even do something over here. You could do a strawberry and this, just to add a little decoration inside the card, and that looks nice. I don't think that works. And this is too big. You might put it like that, just one little strawberry, or we could put some blossoms. The blossoms are white with yellow, so you could add a few. You could even draw some stems and leaves and add some blossoms. This is usually what a strawberry blossom looks like. There are actually some strawberries that do have a red flower. I don't know, I'm guessing that they're probably green inside. I don't know if they're white inside. I saw them only once and I cannot remember. I just thought, hey, that's cool. They have red blossoms. So there's many different ways. It depends on your style, your preference. If you wanted to add something more to your inside, I think one single strawberry like that would probably be pretty good. And maybe something over here. Maybe even that strawberry that I'm not too fond of. The contrast would actually work with this. Let me show you something else you can do with the big strawberry. What can we do with these large strawberries? Now, I know that those are two separate parts. You could, when you glue them down, you could glue them together, and that would be a solid object. It's not going to fit. This leaf is actually, though it's the same shape, it's too small. I'm probably not going to use this yellow, but what I can do is I can make a leaf pattern by cutting off this part right here. So that I have the same exact pattern that's there. And then I could trace that on green paper to make a green leaf to go on there. And so I'm going to do that. But I don't like this color. This is too dull. I want to get a different shade of green. See if that works. I traced around it. And I always like to use my scraps. And so now I will just cut it out. Let me just separate this piece so I can cut it out a little bit easier. And because I traced around it, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger. Notice I have a pile of seeds here. What I did is I took this and I would use some of my scraps. And here I'm cutting it out because I just want to have the holes. So I don't even have to cut out the whole strawberry. I could run that like that and get all these holes. And that's another way to use up your scraps. So that's what I did to collect some seeds. Now this will be a little bit of a pain. So I'm going to have to use a pin to pick up these and get a dab of glue and glue them onto that works better. Using the toothpick to put a dab of glue where I want to put a seed. Using a pin to pick up the seed and put it on the glue. That is working pretty good. Yes, it is tedious doing it this way. But this way, this is another way I can use the big strawberry. I think I have enough seeds. You don't have to cover the whole thing. Still have a few left over, but that's okay. I got enough. And it's kind of cool that it actually has bumps, because the seeds usually do stick out. Okay, so now I want to attach this. I'm going to turn it upside down because I don't have a project to put this strawberry on just yet. So I just want to get this prepared for use later on. So I want to just put some tape to kind of hold it together on the back side, just so it stays together. Do that very good. You could use washi tape for this as well. I just want to hold it semi together before it gets glued down. And now we need to put our leaf on. I'm going to adjust it a little bit. And then I'll just cut off the extra. And so you have a big strawberry. And then you have a little strawberry. This is with a small strawberry, and this is with the big strawberry. And this is the cutout for the small strawberry. here's my strawberry card. I decided to leave the front as is and only decorate the inside of the card. I added a couple of strawberry blossoms, and I decided not to draw any stems or anything. I could have stamped some leaves and added some stems, but I decided, no, that's good enough. I like the contrast of the white against the green. And then I added this onto the right. I felt like it fit better in that corner. So now the card is ready to sign and send to wish somebody a happy birthday, wishing you the very best. What I will do with my strawberry pieces is I will just put them all in a bag, and the next time I do a strawberry card, I will have these spare pieces all here that are already prepared or cut out. And if I had a little more time, I would sit and make some more strawberries and make a bunch of them. But these will go in my book. And I have a place where I keep little bags of little parts for specific themes. So I had a bag of chicken stuff, chicken wire, chicken coop, various chicken, corn stalks, you know, because chickens are on a farm, eggs, various chickens, different colors, a sign. I try to make this look like a Rhode Island red, a white chicken, a barred rock, because I have barred rocks. I was just playing with color with that one. But I keep all this stuff in a bag so that it's ready the next time that I want to make a chicken card. So I have the art pieces already cut out, already colored, so it won't be so hard to make a card the next time I feel like doing chickens. I have a bag of deer for men. I have a bunch of cars for men. I have, this is Christmas holly and Christmas pine and Christmas stockings. It goes with the Christmas set. And my shoes, which I'll show that to you in a little bit. And bicycles. So I keep all these bags of various projects. The cutouts are already done. You know, I could just sit here when I got a few minutes to play, and it is play, making things, and then I store it so that I'm ready to make cards for another time. So when you cut this out, you get something that looks like this. And that's okay, but it could look a lot better. I turned it into this. Isn't that cool? I have 3 different colors. I have the red, and I have the black, and then I have the silver. Let me see if I can explain to you how I did it. And I cut it out. So I needed to have this shape right here. So I separated the parts. I cut out the red, and then I cut off the parts so that the soles of the shoes would be black. And then I wanted to fill in the holes, so I cut out some silver paper, and I just try to fit them inside. And that's how I get this really cool pair of shoes. So I can take an ordinary punch that I didn't pay very much for and turn it into something extraordinary. Mix and match and do different designs. I try to keep it so that things doesn't fall apart. But you could probably make some different design shoes with that. You could even save the little cutouts right here, and you could add it as an embellishment. So there's probably a lot of possibilities you can do with this. I added shiny hubcaps and black wheels on my little car here. Now sometimes the cutouts are fine, like this one. It doesn't need any help. They look great. They look great all by themselves. So they don't need any help. But sometimes you get a cutout that just doesn't work like that. That is pretty dull looking. This little piece falls out, and that's supposed to be a tire. So I played with it with some silver accents. I put silver in the windows, and I cut out, it was hard to cut out and try to get everything just so, but I feel like I made this car a whole lot more interesting. And this car, I felt like it was fine as is, but it could use a little bit of help. So I added some silver. So I just gave it a little bit more pizzazz. Instead of having all these cutouts, I actually added hubcaps and added thicker tires. And all those open spaces, I decided to fill them with silver to make it a little bit more interesting. And look at the back. See, it's just pieces, scraps that I cut and glued on to just give it a little bit more pizzazz to my die cutout. I've got one more to show you. Okay, I got this off of Amazon, this die cut to cut out this bicycle. I was thinking of my sister because she is a bicycle enthusiast. She likes to go bike riding with her granddaughters, and so I said that's okay, and for certain cards that's fine like it is. Well, I played with it. And I cut out, I wanted the tires to be thicker. I wanted to have some chrome. I wanted the bike to have some color. I wanted the flowers and the basket to have color and the balloons to have color. So I layered the colors on by just cutting and you know, yes, I had to cut out a bicycle and that color and that color and that color. Then I just cut off the parts that I wanted, and I even added these tire rims that were from the car set. This is what the back looks like. So I started with black, and then I added the silver, which is white on one side and silver on the other. I made the tires thicker. I had to kind of hand cut those. I didn't have the right size circle at the time. And the strings, I just left it the black and glued the balloons on top. So you see, I started with the basic shape, and it's a little bit thicker. So from that to that, a little bit more, just a lot more interest by adding all that shiny chrome. The flowers could probably be a little better. I might actually go back in and do something with the flowers. So you can take cheap dies, and with a little work and creativity, you can make it into something special. You don't have to spend a lot of money to create great art to decorate your cards. I have found some cheap dies on Amazon and was able to make them into something special. Here are a few examples of some inexpensive dies that I picked up on Amazon and what I was able to do with it. I hope that I have inspired you to get a little more creative and learn to play with your tools. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more inspiring ideas to help you in crafting. Thanks for watching.